do that little head bob, that little bit of a dance. Thank you, Ice Wolfie, for the bits. But yeah, so I'm not sure what the deal is. We actually have overkill mode on. It's how we got to 420 in the first place. But I almost feel like 420 is like a secret code that broke the bit boss because we haven't seen this number change. Either way, he definitely put in way more bits than it should have been. So 1,437. Thank you very much for that. But I guess we'll have to message the developer after stream and see what's the dilly-dally dealio. Because we were having some trouble with the bit boss battle lately. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we swap scenes more than anybody else. So, anyways, getting into game number 1 here in the finals for the BTSL. $260 is the current prize pool, as you guys can see displayed down here. And in the bottom right, we do have the red Zerg player coming from Splice. It's Solar.
The top left is the pink Protoss. He is Zest.
Some of the chat is really confused about the prize money, though, so let's line this out so you're aware. There are 3 weekly / I guess you could call them qualifiers that go on each month. Each of these is worth $200 at least, plus whatever extra we can collect in spare change from you, wonderful viewers. On top of this, we have a $500 monthly finals. So, $200 a week times 3, $500 a month. Or sorry, 200 a week, 3 times a month, and then $500 1 times a month.
1 times.
1 times. So even if we didn't actually collect any additional funds, that's like what, $1,100 a month, I think, in prize money. That's not too bad. Not to mention if people really get, I guess, donation happy, because sometimes that's the case. Like, again, for those who don't know how this works, 100% of the prize pool is going to the players. We're not taking a cut of it. Matcherina's not taking a cut of it. In fact, Matcherina's even generous enough to cover the cost of a processing fee for it. So, yeah, whatever you see on that page is going to go to these players. I think it's, we'll have to figure out what the percentages are later. But the baseline was $100 to first place, $50 to second, and then $25 to third and fourth.
Yeah. In fact, I think third and fourth already have $7 more.
Whoa, did you do math?
No, I already put hero in the player socket, so.
Oh, okay.
Told me what you mean. No, I did math and I'm amazing.
I'm really impressed. You're so smart, Zombie Grove.
It was $52.50 in fact.
Alright, well, Solar, it's a little bit annoying dealing with the pylons. You actually might not even get the second one, which is a little bit awkward. I thought this was just going to cancel it, but he's actually going to go for the Cybercore block. This is always funny to see because Forge, Gateway, Cybercore, they all cost the same amount of minerals, but the Cybercore has the most health and the most shield, so will take the longest to kill and deal with.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising to see this at a third base, but it is pretty worth. This is not a map you generally just don't mind taking the fourth. It's actually a lot of the time I feel the fourth is even a little bit later on this map. So we're just gonna have to wait it out patiently. Meanwhile, Zest, he is being scouted right now. Can't do much about that. Going for Twilight Council, Robo, Gateways. No Chrono on the Twilight Council, which is a little weird. There's also no Chrono on the Warp Gate. Just continuing with his probes.
I think getting the probe saturation is obviously important, but you're right. Like I would have liked to have seen Chrono on Resonating Glaives, for example. Now this is a pretty good wall. I don't think Solar can tear through this yet, but it is only 1 Adept defending. Mothership, of course, not even out yet, so no overcharges.
Would have been scary if Solar had more lings. Mothership, of course, will pop out. Resonating Glaives, 70% done, and there will be a Warp Prism to accompany it. He even gets a Stalker because he's tired of that Overlord seeing everything.
I think it's a good move, too. There's just no reason to give him this free vision.
Yep. Here's that Warp Prism. I guess this is just when he wants his Resonating Glaives to time out. It's just, it usually is something that's chrono boosted, so it looks so weird. It's just, it's missing the special effects. It's not glowy.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and you have to answer me honestly.
Yeah?
Did you get changed in the middle, somewhere between the commercial break and this game?
I was wondering if you would notice. I figured you noticed, like, out of game.
I normally don't have
it. Changed. I wore tank top to bed, and I just swapped the shirt out for a shirt.
Okay, you guys obviously can't see what she looks like. I normally don't have your webcam up during the game, but I was moving some windows around, and I was like, wait, what?
You don't notice anything. It's a secret.
It's like, you notice my clothes, but not my haircut. Thanks a lot, Rifkin.
I got a haircut recently. God, no. If your haircut's not like noticeable enough to be noticed, then it's just not noticeable.
Well, to be noticed, you should get more than one cut.
Ha! Well, I haven't ever heard that before. I'm gonna use that if I ever find myself in a situation. You didn't notice my hair was cut? No.
Ice Wolfie in chat says, if I donate one of the boss, what is supposed to happen? Well, donations, if you're talking about in terms of money, shouldn't affect it at all. If you're talking about cheering for more bits, it is supposed to heal you. And in fact, I can confirm that it will heal you, but it won't overheal you, so you're not going to get extra health. I don't think you can heal yourself.
Not supposed to be able to.
No, certainly not. By the way, I guess we didn't really put up a prize, but I guess we can offer another portrait code if whoever the final bit boss of the day wants one. I really don't mind finally getting rid of these, just to finally have it like over and done with.
Yeah.
I mean, they are super duper rare, and at some point I'm gonna be able to just say like, nope, we don't have any more.
Save them for when we're old and retired, 10 years from now, and then just give them away for thousands of dollars.
Or we can just give them away on stream like today because it's fun.
Either one. I'm just saying, there's alternatives. Unlikely alternatives, but still.
Alright, screw it. We'll see who's the bit boss at the end of the day, and we'll see if they want a code or not. If they do, great. If they don't, then we'll just save it. There you go. Easy peasy. We do have mutas already on the way, so this Warp Prism actually won't have a lot of staying power, but I do want to note, Solar got into the third, but also apparently the main with the Lings, so killing a couple of probes here and there, but more importantly, getting all the scouting in the world. And
still not Chrono is Twilight. I don't know why this bothers me so much.
Well, soon it's not going to matter. He's going to be finished with the upgrades, of course. But, well, Solar... Oh, what did he take drone losses to? I guess an Adept snuck by? Yeah, a couple of Adepts in here. I was going to say, though, he's got these mutas coming across the map, and that blink is not done yet. Not many Stalkers in play, and it doesn't even look like there's a Mothership Core up here. So this should be easily 5 or 6 probes. Oh, she's getting pushed away pretty quickly by the Stalkers, so maybe not easily 5 or 6, but something that did force Zest to warp in a lot of Stalkers in a position where maybe he didn't want to.
Well, he is getting blink, so this is actually timing out probably pretty well for Zest, in terms of like what I was going to warp in anyways. Just managed to warp them in the main base where they were needed. This is something that Solar scouts, and I think seeing the Twilight Council not being chrono boosted but still moving and grooving for the last like 4 minutes, he's going to recognize that it's not just presenting glaives, but it is also blink.
Yeah. And
Zest might be pushing into that fourth base rather of Solar. With an army. I mean, his sentries have got all the force field energy. He's going to have a Warp Prism remade. The one died.
So, I was reading chat's response to the clothing question. I said a funny thought. I would love to like troll stream one day, and both of us just like, every time a game goes on, we change our shirt. Just see how long it takes people to notice. Like the lack of continuity every time we go back to caster games.
You probably noticed pretty quickly.
Maybe.
I think they got some smart cookies.
I mean, I have 3 black shirts. You wouldn't know. I could have been doing that already. I'm not wearing the same shirt now.
Is anyone trying to accuse you of wearing the same shirt 3 days in a row?
Well, that actually just happened, though, and I'm not too ashamed to admit that I can just sometimes be a slob. Anyways, mutas get picked apart pretty quickly. Zest also gets a little bit supply blocked from this, though, which is a bit awkward. But he's not going for an attack with a Warp Prism or anything like that, so it's not going to affect him that badly. Not yet, at least.
I thought he would, but instead of just grabbing his 4th base first, I still think he has the potential to push into Solar's army. As Solar's army is, to be honest, not that scary. The Banelings are definitely the scariest part, but that's what the multiple force fields are for. And ideally finding a location where you can, use them really well, not being caught in the open. And this is kind of the one location on Belshir that is the most open. The Solar's Banelings are still on the bottom of that ramp, so decides I'd go for it.
I will say I like Solar's army. He got this up really quickly, and he is maxed out after all. On top of this, well, he continues to make more Lings and Banelings. It's not like his upgrades are falling off either. +2's on the way. So 4 bases, decent drone count, and a pretty nice army. I'd say Zest has got to be careful. Even though with force fields, though, Zest should be able to take a better fight. Yeah. Oh my
Yes, he loses a lot of them, though. I don't actually know about donutting.
That second layer of force fields is actually really sick after the first one got broken. That ate a lot of corrosive battle shots, and a lot of the Banelings got picked off, but Solar's still coming through with a lot of units, and 38 more Lings are reinforcing behind this. Don't forget, Lings are going to be so good at dealing with these Stalkers.
I really don't know about this choice to donut. Like, he did have that second layer of force fields, but he actually ran out of them.
What was interesting about the donut choice was he didn't have any AoE for it, right? Like,
that too, yeah. Well, it's kind of backfiring on Solar, though. He's losing those very vulnerable Ravagers after losing the Lings and Banelings, and Zest still looks okay. Still has a bank. Fourth base is up, and continuing his upgrades as well. I mean, he lost very important units like the Sentries, like the Immortals, and he's not on his way to Templars.
I really like that Solar pulled back, by the way. He could have very easily just rallied Lings in to die 1 or 2 at a time to the Stalkers and maybe tried to take a scrappy fight. But instead, consolidating his forces, making Banelings, I think is a much smarter choice. Of course, while this goes on, the question is next, like, what is going to happen for Solar? Like, Zest could probably just turtle up and win a game eventually. He's #Protoss. But Solar's thinking about trying to do some run-bys, kind of like we see here. Banelings are going to roll in, get denied pretty quick.
And roll out.
Pick out.
Okay. Not gonna do too much. Soto Temple Archives, but a Dark Shrine gonna come in for some harassments. I guess that's cool too. I am a little worried. I feel like Protoss's armies usually get better as time goes on, and I think Zergs would agree with that. But that's usually because they start adding in Storm. Maybe even if the game really is very, very long, like go into Tempests. But both of them sticking on the same composition is going to come down to the force fields miss, to the surrounds go down. There are plenty of force fields just because there are plenty of sentries, so we'll have to be very careful how he actually engages.
There's over 100 Lings. There's 35 something Banelings. Like, Solar has units. There's no question about that. But the problem is, like, his is all brute force and no finesse. Those sentries can make the world of difference depending on Zest's zone control. The 2 Immortals get picked off pretty much immediately and mostly for free. God, there's a lot of sentries though that do have a lot of energy. 10 of them to be precise.
Ah! That's close. Very close. Too close. More force fields are needed though. Oh, he's actually letting some through the north. There's so many force fields. Losing that position on the ramp. Motion Core trying to help out. More force fields are used. I think that's all of his force fields now, but did manage to save most of his Stalkers.
Well, rip the rest of the sentries. Base is going to go down. So for Solar, well, actually, he's not going to get the base. The DTs will drive him off. I was going to say, if you got that Nexus, that'd be awesome, but 29 probes isn't too bad of a consolation prize.
Oh, a split. That's so cool.
Yeah. Very nicely done.
Away. Right, yeah, but 29 probes, you say, like, that's still pretty good. I guess it's a little oversaturated from that main base, but we have DTs in the 4th of Solar going to town. I think those are the DTs that were pushing the army back. I don't know how they made it over there so fast. No, these are Archons. Okay, yeah. So now he has Archons, even though it's not from those High Templars again that we usually see. By 13 minutes, it is still Archons, and they'll be able to soak up the Banelings a little bit better than those Sentries that have been doing a decent job force fielding and then eating the Banelings for the Stalkers that they've saved. There you go, Sentries.
It's been a very odd game that I feel like Solar should have had so much more control of.
20 Sentries have died! 20 Sentries!
That's almost a millennium.
Oh my god. Yeah. This is a very good spread, and Solar is maybe starting to feel a little bit concerned about his army composition, now seeing the Archons.
I don't know, like, so the thing is, if Lings actually get a surround on Archons, because Zest is spread out like this, then I kind of favor the Lings a little bit. But what I wish was Solar, he's investing so much in army, like there's no advancement of tech, right? There's no hive, there's nothing else coming out next.
Yeah. It feels like he's not even planning on getting the hive. He hasn't taken additional gases, so he's gas starved in the first place to get more Banelings, but also no way to get to the hive.
Well, there's that surround of several of these Archons that I was talking about. They just don't do well when they're fully surrounded, and he's actually going to pop off almost all of Zest's Archons. The ones remaining are Durbin in the back. But...
yeah, but there's not that many Banelings left.
Yeah,
Ravagers will go down very easily after the Lings.
Still like 90 armies supplied at 50 something.
Yeah.
It blinks away. That actually ends up abandoning the Archons. The Mothership Core gets sniped by the Corrosive Bowels. That was actually a really nice hit for Solar.
Zest really has not been able to do enough in terms of taking down Solar's economy either. There's that single DT attack that killed a handful of drones, and that was it.
Yeah. Just to address the FPS comments again, guys, the computer's derping today. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do about this. GG. But okay, that's a good start for Solar here in the series. Coming up 1-0 versus Zest to begin with. I guess we are going to head off to a quick commercial break. Mr. X Tackle says that the X in his name is apparently a 10, or Roman numeral. Mr. 10 Tackle? Or maybe Mr.
Tentacle.
X.
Whoa! My mind is being blown right now.
Tentacle. Oh my god, that's actually super clever. So that means for years we've been saying his name wrong.
I was gonna say, like, well, how were we supposed to know that? X tackle, 10 tackle doesn't mean anything.
Tentacle porn!
And then it blew my mind.
Alright, we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into game number 2. He's up 1-0. A great start for this Splice player. It's the Blue Zerg Solar.
In the bottom left, is the red Protoss. He is Zest.
Alright, so maybe not too happy with the way that game went for him. But I gotta say, that was not exactly a clean win for Solar. You know, credit where it's due. He played that out well and definitely deserved the win. But I don't think there's any world where he's like, yeah, that went about exactly as expected. No hiccups along the way.
Yeah, there's no way he's saying that was really super easy. Really, don't know about the way Zest continued to play, though. I guess he felt so pressured to continue defending and warping in and being providing aggression, keeping Solar on his toes, that he never found the chance to fit in Storm and Archons. Because it's the one thing that was really missing. The donut would have made more sense with Storms. The later stage of the game, when he had those force fields still going down, but then the force fields on top of the banelings would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Just brute forcing with Stalkers can work because they can take a couple baneling shots, but obviously it didn't there.
By the way, I mentioned it last time. I brought it up in chat, but I just want to address it one last time, guys. Like, the FPS drops we're getting today are not normal. If you watch most of our VODs, sometimes the FPS will drop, but not nearly as much as it has consistently today. I'm aware of the issue in terms of like why it's freaking out, and my processes are all just maxed out. I got no idea. Maybe it's a memory leak, maybe it's something else. But the point is, a lot of the problems we've actually been having with stream and limitations to our stream setup right now are caused by my current setup. And after doing a lot of looking into it and finally being convinced to buy like another PC anyways, I am looking to, hopefully in the next month or so, maybe in 2 months, migrate to a 2-PC setup, which will alleviate a lot of the hiccups. Because one of the biggest problems is, by casting with Zombie Grub, Skype alone eats up like a monstrous portion of my PC, not to mention the camera and the screen regions required to go with it. So I know there's not that many people who are actually complaining about it, but I just want everyone to be aware. I'm aware of the issues. There's nothing we can do about it, and I apologize. Luckily, though, if you really want to go watch this again later in full HD quality, if you're subbed to the channel, replay packs from today's games will be sent out to our subscribers after the cast is done.
Yep. So we do things. So, Ling is in here. He's going to be able to scout what the Overlords wouldn't be able to. It is Toilet Council on a Robo. As expected. I think Zest is holding off on whatever else he wants to put down, though, whether it's Resident Glaze or a Dark Shrine, until that Ling is out of the way.
Hang on, checking Solar Vision real quick. Did not see it. Okay.
Alright then. So, I mean, if it is a Dark Shrine build, you don't really worry so much about being scouted, because that could happen anyways with an Overlord coming in, but, you know, if you can wait 5 seconds to kill the Ling, then I guess go for it. Solar's gonna have a very quick lair anyways. Like about no detection.
When you do this with a Warp Prism, it's not something that requires sneak attack tactics. But I think what's really daunting is this is Zest doing it. And Zest might not be best, but you can't contest something rest. I don't know. The point is he can use the Warp Prism really well, scouted or not. And his micro is good, and it will hurt Solar if he's not careful.
There's a lot of things that actually run with Zest. Or I'm just Solar. Bowler. Roller.
There's this good player
Bowler
named Zest, who, unlike Life, was never under arrest.
Ha ha ha. You don't know Zest life. You don't know him.
Well, he might be stressed.
Because of this test.
I
never know when you're going to
protest.
continue. Or... I never know if I'm interrupting or you're just actually done.
No, I like to imagine one day you'll play the rhyme game with me. I remember you don't.
Oh, well, it's not about playing the rhyme game with you. It's about not being able to play. It's like your friend's really terrible at basketball and can't even, like, catch the ball. So you're like, heads up, and you throw it at them and it just, like, bonks them in the face. That's what, like, rhyming is with me.
Like,
so.
duck! And they're like, quack!
Yeah, exactly.
So trying to point out here, by the way, while we're being a bit silly, that there is a second Warp Prism in play. It's a second shooter behind the grassy knoll. And Zest is going to be
Those are going to be released soon, man.
Is that this year or next year?
Next year, I think 2018.
Alright, well, JF, can you believe it? I don't see him using this one very much. This one, like, okay, so this Warp Prism's doing what it's meant to do. The second one has still not been revealed. So Solar has everything focused on the attention of just this Warp Prism. Then this base ends up being left unguarded, and yeah, Adepts can get in and kill a lot of drones very quickly.
Double Warp Prism's the new way to go, man. All the cool kids are doing it.
I like
Thanks to XXX Reaper. Reap XXX. Oh, you almost got me. Oh, Lord.
That edgelord of a name. 26 months long. Thank you so much. But the idea of the second Warp Prism I really like, not just because, like, okay, maybe you warp into 2 different locations, right? It's kind of annoying. Zerg players got to pull themselves apart. But it is like a second one for if the first one gets picked off by silly means. And a lot of the times we'll see Broadus players attack just end up falling flat because, well, you know, the Zerg player dived in and killed the Warp Prism. You're like, oh, well, that's lame and over.
Did you say silly memes?
Now
That's bad, man. I like the Warp Prism, Double Warp Prism. It's 200 minerals. It is that safety Warp Prism in case one dies. That's still keeping the Zerg back potentially. And early on, if you're getting good scouting and pressure, I don't think there's a super necessity to build Immortals as quick as possible. Maybe especially on Proxima 2, being such an easy third base, but second Robo anyways, so Double Warp Prism or not, he's gonna start rising that count quite hard. Double Forge seems to be more of a common follow-up as well. And Charge, of course, which will work out well against these Hydralisks. Kid is Ling, Baneling Hydralisk. Just gotta make sure the Zealots don't just go ahead and flounder into those Banelings. They can be quite stupid.
Fun fact, Flounder is the name of the fish in The Little Mermaid.
Also the name of a fish type, which he was not. I don't think he was actually a flounder. Anyway.
Okay. Thanks for the contribution. Turning my fun fact into just a fact.
Facts are always fun. I guess he was a flounder
Well,
and that he
that's
was
not
kind of
true,
skinny.
because nobody really has a fax machine anymore. And if they were that fun, would they have gone out of style?
Flounder would have been really ugly if he wasn't a cartoon. Holy shit, fish are disgusting.
Dude, he had like the punk look going on, right? Like the blue mohawk and everything. I'm talking memory here. I know you're on Google.
I remember it was yellow. I don't remember his haircut was. Oh, anyways. Warp Prism's still at least threatening Solar, but not really doing any much anymore. They both have just decided to macro up real hard like, and Solar does have almost a 40-50 army supply lead. Zest without Storm, I would be scared, but he's on his way to Temple Archives.
What is happening with these shadows? Does Stream see this? I hope Stream sees that. Now it's stopped. That was really weird.
I don't see anything.
Well, Warp Prism's coming in for round 2. Other side of the map, I gotta say, that Immortal Sentry count taking me all the way back to Wings of Liberty, man.
This is a pretty cool setup. Again, Storm would make this much easier, but he's gonna have to work with what he has.
Zest keeps trying to drop between that Hydra Den and the Evolution Chamber, so he can't get attacked by Lings, and I like that. But it's not Lings on the defense for Solar, it's Roaches. He's coming with a really big attack to bust that front door, and let's not forget he has maxed out his supply count way bigger than that of Zest, but the force fields are really good. The pylons buy a little bit of time. The Hydras, though, looking to just tear through everything. And while the Immortals are good against Roaches and Ravagers, Hydralisks have got a lot of damage.
I don't know. Solar still has Banelings. Charge-out Warplanes aren't that effective, and most of the barriers have been popped. War Prism to the rescue, I guess.
Is Solar gonna do this again? But like, he's just brute forcing these games over Zest, and what's amazing is it's through macro, not through cheese.
He is just brute forcing here. I mean, Zest was missing, well, probably a couple more Archons. He didn't. You know, it's kind of questionable that he took the engagement in such an area where his force field had to be like plentiful too.
The thing is, like,
he could have done better.
There was no question this was going to be Hydras. Like, he was constantly dropping around the Hydralisk Den, unless somehow that just didn't register with him, right? But what's interesting to see is Solar's not continuing to invest in the Hydras in terms of, like, upgrades. He's actually gone over to Lings, and he's focusing on the melee.
Yeah. DT harassment's pretty good. Fourth base, however, is killed? Cancelled. Well, really aren't a lot of structures lost this game. Cancelled. That's something that's what I meant, though. It's like, Zest could have taken the fight over here, where force field only had to be like 5 across instead of like 8 across, and that might have been a lot better for him because apparently he's not going to get his face anyways.
Well, the Banelings just wrecked the probe line, so even if he doesn't walk away from the fight victorious, he just killed a good chunk of Zest's economy. Solar, by the way, who's on a 5th base there in the top middle, he's having a hard time killing the rest of the Immortals here. A lot of them on red health. Zest Micro has proven to be pretty good, but GG's get called, and Solar with a 2-0 lead here in the finals.
Oh. Zest can't beat the Zerg.
I don't know. It's supposed to be the other way around, right?
According to foreigners. How? I don't actually.
So
no commentary there.
By the way, while we're doing all that silly rhyming stuff, I was trying to think of, like, what else rhymes with Solar. The only thing I think of was like Amy Poehler.
Well, you're not wrong.
All right, guys, we're gonna go to another commercial break. Paladino is coming up when we get back, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 3 here for the BTSL Grand Finals. This could be it. He's up 2-0. He's the high roller, the Zerg controller. Give it up for my man, Solar!
Is that why you had us rhyming during the break?
No, it was also fun, but I also did that inside.
On the top left is the pink Protoss. He is Zest. And usually it rhymes with best, but
you can't contest that this man is the best.
No, you can't.
Higher up than the rest. Give it up for my man, Zest!
That's the point, though. I could have done all that rhyme, but it would have been wrong. He's not looking so hot, man.
No, he's truly been given a ZVP test.
I wouldn't say too hard of a test, but yeah. Try and find some way to rhyme less with it.
Wait, how to rhyme what? Sorry?
Lest.
Lest? Is that even a word? I guess that is a word, yeah.
Yeah, he better ace this test, lest he... I don't know. Lest he lose. What a rhyme.
Lest he done messed. Oh.
Okay. I'll take it.
The man's damn fine, like a suit pressed.
Isn't the rhyme supposed to be with fine, though?
No, I thought we were still doing Zest. Let's continue with it.
Yeah, but wasn't like the cadence kind of like you were supposed to rhyme with
you know
fine?
what rhymes with Zest, okay? Breast, okay, the end. What do you like staring at more, Zest or a breast?
Definitely have to go with Zest. No, Zest with breasts.
Whoa! I think I'll stick with Reyna from BSL, alright?
Oh yeah, I keep like, oh, we're never gonna be able to talk about your crush on her again. I'm so sad.
I know, I'll just have to keep watching the VSL and shitposting chat with Maynard and Zephcast. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Alright, well, we got Zest poking with a couple of adepts early on, and I don't see this getting away with much. I'm actually really curious on his choice for Paladino, though. Like, I really thought, okay, if you're going to pick a map like this, you know that this isn't going to be a game revolving around thirds. So, does that mean Zest is going to go all in? Does that mean he's going to be sticking with Adepts? Or does that just become the Dark Shrine once again?
It's funny, because you would think that someone who chooses Paladino would be the aggressive person, but sometimes you see them just be the defensive one, and it's like, maybe there's something to be said about the idea that you know what the Zerg player should do on a map like this, and I would say that they should Roach Ravager all in, unless you're, you know, prepared for it.
So it's really interesting to me that Zest, or excuse me, not Zest, I guess Zest in the brain, Solar would take this base. I think there's a lot of merits defensively speaking about taking a base up here. Like on one side, okay, if you're worried about an all-in, then yeah, because you can't escape. The probes cannot, drones cannot escape from that base. But at the same time, every time we've ever seen anybody attack into those thirds that are on the sides of the map, they always get trapped in, and it rarely goes well. So I'm curious on Solar's selection for out here. This is I've got nothing against him taking this base. It's just interesting to see this one being taken.
It might have to do with, again, like going back to what I was talking about, being maybe more aggressive. It's such a ample map to go for any type of aggression, and Zerg Roach Ravager all-ins can still be effective even if they're a bit old-fashioned, especially on the smaller maps, with Creeps Herd already a little bit out and about. It's really only time will tell type of thing. Zest is going to have his run around with the Adepts, sure, but that's kind of something you can do on other maps as well, not necessarily super taking advantage of the map. He is scouted, not with his Overlord necessarily, but with the other Overlord, just seeing how many Adepts are at the front, so like, you know, just dies, whatever. And get a Max Diffie for the 27-month resub.
Today's been kind of resub light, actually, which is a bit odd.
We have those 2 new subs in the beginning.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah. Did we ever catch a Barco?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Well, the name sounded nice. Maybe I say it twice. Thank you, Barco, for the 3-month resub.
Yeah, thank you. I thought you said barcode, and I was like, you can't catch a barcode. This isn't a catch a predator thing.
If anything, I feel like catching a barcode's like a disease. Like you catch a cold. Like that's how. Oh my god, that's
Actually,
why they're all barcodes. They all just got each other sick.
I imagine catching a barcode is something like, hey, I got the secret to defeating Protoss. You know, and come on over and know what it is. Aha! Scarlet. I don't know about catching barcode as an illness. Is it just like you only see in lines? Or you are constantly scanned? Scans don't make that sound anymore, though. The very loud beep sound.
Oh yeah, like the old I think it makes it.
I think it'd be that much of an illness. It wouldn't be that bad. Okay, that aside, whatever that was. These depths really aren't doing very much. They're scouting and checking probably to see like what Solar's doing, right? But it is wiser for them to just go back home. Zest has double Stargate follow-up. Whoa.
Yeah, so kind of pointing this up, but I guess we didn't really mention it. I really love that it's Phoenix 2 on mass. He has been trying different things, and I guess kind of realizing that Rami is head against the wall against Solar. It's just not going to work doing the same thing over and over again. I think the problem is, though, Solar, like, he's willing to go Hydras once already, and we saw that. The fact that Phoenixes are kind of, I don't know, they're like good against Hydras early on, but then you get really bad against them later.
That is true. I mean, the Adepts on the ground help out a lot if there's only Ling Hydra, but there's still quite a few Roaches.
Yeah.
Zest prepping for his third base. He's going to take the more pocket one that we're talking about Solar taking. And Solar is got to be careful with these couple Hydras popping out now. In fact, he's just going to go ahead and reposition his Spore Crawlers to probably have a common rally point. I think the question right now is, does Zest continue investing into Stargate, or does he start adding on Robos and more gateways? His third base still isn't down.
I feel like if you're gonna go double Stargate, you really gotta like go into it. You can't just like go halfway.
No, I just
like even if it's not like 40 more
choices.
Phoenix, still like possibly moving into like Void Rays or Tempest or anything later on. Carriers, obviously.
No, Protoss seem to be fine transferring in and out of Stargates. but they also are, you know, equally fine going for the more of a committal. I think that like a larger map though would be more of a committal to the Stargates.
Well, there's a lot of freaking adepts ready to tango. 22 of them on the ground. Zest comes in with a pretty nice army force, and this is kind of like brute force payback. The Hydras get wrecked.
Yeah, maybe pull the drones for some extra protection here. Spore Crawler is helping, and there are more roaches on the way. The Phoenixes are using most of their energy. I think Solar has cleaned this up, and he still has all of his drones.
Yeah, Zest is actually starting to bleed out what little he has left. The Spore Crawlers actually did a lot of damage to the Phoenix. The fact that all those adepts died, I mean, that was very dedicated from him. And
yeah.
I don't really know what recovery looks like. On the other hand, though, like these Phoenix, if they were actually ready to defend in the middle of the map, no counterattack would get by this. The roaches would actually die. But they're on the wrong side of the map. There's no Void Race at home. I don't think he can stop Solar from canceling his third. Well, killing it in this case.
Killing it, yeah. Even if he... I mean, this is really like a, you know, might as well get this third base, hope it kind of fakes out Solar third, right? Like, it wasn't even that many probes. They're all being transferred from the main base. They're caught by the roaches. Roaches are caught by the Phoenixes finally now, but they're disrupting a lot of mining that was already pretty poor. A lot of the Phoenix energy being used here, not on the Hydras that are coming out now. So, I mean, honestly, like, another round of roaches to protect the Hydras and 20 plus Hydras. So we could probably move forward and take an engagement.
Yeah, I'm liking Solar's position in the game quite a bit. The +1 weapons is going to help a ton with the Hydras. He, of course, has that speed, so we can see on creep. They're very, very fast. Maybe not fast enough, though. If he was actually aim moving instead of just move command, he may have actually picked off a few more of these Phoenix, but Bailey's connected the adepts.
Oh, God. GG.
All right, Solar comes off of, well, frankly, a ban into a very fantastic win for the very first BTSL of the new season. So 3-0 is going to lock things down. And poor Zest is going to have to finish second place, but obviously it's a little bit more than $50 and a little bit more than $100, but the baseline prize pool, if we had only had $200 raised, was $100 to the winner, $50 to the loser, and $25 to third and fourth. Now it's going to be a little bit more. I don't know the math off the top of my head, and we'll figure out percentages later, and we'll get this paid out through Matcherino. But thank you guys who joined us for the stream today. A big thank you to those who donated and contributed and made this prize pool a little bit beefier than the players may have been expecting, which is always nice. But big special thank yous to the bigger contributors today. Shelly_Tone, I don't know if you're still watching, but they contributed like right at the start of the stream. Chardin112, Moving Laterally, and Mind Life are going to be the top 4 people underneath our initial contribution. Also, oh, we got a donation coming. Whoa, okay. First off, $50 from Time to Tell. Says, it was awesome being casted by you guys at the Ting Open. Keep on having fun. Oh, man. Ting Open. All those VODs are up on YouTube now for those who haven't seen them. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you came. I'm glad everybody who came to the Ting Open came. I know we were really worried about, you know, whether, like, we just sat there so nervous on the first day. Like, are people going to come? Are they not going to come? Like, how many are going to come? Like, anyways, thank you for the $50. Very generous. We thank you so much. Please know, though, that that $50 is not going to go to Mind Zombie Grub's pocket, but instead the ! Mega Tournament fundraiser that we have going on in the background. We are actually getting closer and closer to the $7,000 mark, which is awesome. But we owe you guys a $500 show match as one of the tier rewards. And we still owe you an AMA with the house, which I'm trying to still get that sorted, but it's been a whole thing. Either way, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Of course, just to let you guys know real quick, too, if you do want to support myself or Zombie Grub directly, we obviously have our own PayPal links, which are separate from the contributions to the Mega Tournament fundraiser, but most importantly, bits. It's been raining bits nonstop on the channel for the past month. It's been a lot of fun, and frankly, bits are the way we're paying ourselves. Ad revenue is the way we pay ourselves, so thank you guys so much for making that happen. I will just note, too, because someone did ask this earlier on Twitter, and I forgot to reply. Someone was saying, why wasn't Biol playing today? You know, you guys are sponsoring him, all this good stuff. Biol's actually choosing to focus on the GSL Super Tournament that he is qualified for, and I absolutely respect that decision. So when I asked him to play today, he was kind of like, I don't know. And I was like, well, do you have other tournaments going on? And he explained it to me. So I said, yeah, dude, you know what? Not a problem. Please focus on that. We want you to win big. We want you to attract sponsors and teams and names to pick you up when we're no longer able to support you type thing.
Right.
But anyways, that's going to conclude everything for the day. So I don't know if you have any final words before we take off.
Off. I'm on Twitter at ZG Gaming and on Twitch, Zombie Grub. That's really it.
Sounds good. Let's not forget, too, if you guys want to buy any of the Corsair gear, please make sure to do so through our affiliate links down below in the stream. They might not sponsor the BTSL, but they do cover pretty much everything else we do. Big thank you to Twitch for making all this possible, too. Twitch is, without a doubt, our biggest sponsor of the year, and while they kind of go in the background and they don't ask us to put them front line and center, I am really proud to be working with such a good company. So thank you very much to them. But of course, last but not least, Matcherino adding $100 to each of the BTSL prize pools is going to be awesome. If you guys haven't seen as well, you might be wondering like when are the other BTSLs or just when is shit going down on BaseTradeTV in general. I'm going to walk you through this before we go because this is my favorite feature that Twitch has come out with since Twitch Prime. And until every single one of our viewers is using this regularly, I'm going to keep bringing this up on stream. So let's go ahead and... Whoops. Where's Chrome? I'm gonna make that bigger. No, shrink it. Bigger. Okay, there we go. At the top of the stream, though, above our wonderful faces, you can see this new tab called Events. Please click that. Once you go there, you can see a calendar listing all of our planned stuff for the month. Now, granted, some of this will move, and not all of this will be exactly as planned, and we have stuff on here that, or we have stuff we haven't added to here yet. But what you can do is take a glance and be like, oh, hey, you know what? On the 7th, they're going to be casting the Corsair Cup. And by the way, this is one that might be moving because the WCS Challenger qualifiers are still going on. But you can click this and hit Remind Me. And this is huge because this will actually remind you that the event's going on if you forget about it type thing. But even if you don't, again, like 11, 12, 13, 14, like we're casting all the time, always. So guys, please keep coming back for more. And don't miss out on anything. Of course, follow the channel. And last but not least, I think Ice Wolfie is the winner. So if you guys don't know what the Hell It's Boot Time portrait is... Let me take you to the in-game screen here for a sec. It is the second rarest portrait in the game. It is a Canadian Marine. It looks kind of stupid blown up, but it's a really nice portrait. And it's super duper duper rare. And there's literally no way to get this. You can't write to Blizzard. You can't pay for this anywhere. You can only get it through our giveaways. So congratulations to Ice Wolfie. I'll send you a message when the stream's all said and done and wrapped up. But I think that's done, guys. So thanks again for watching. We're getting this stream with commercials. We're going to go find somebody awesome to host. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching the BTSL. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.